Opener this year against Indianapolis, and now an official Monday night debut for Corey Dillon. New England to receive the kick. Lawrence Tynes sends it to the 5-yard line. Bethel Johnson, one of the Patriot wide receivers with a lot of speed, breaks a tackle and then gets taken down just short of the 30-yard line by Greg Wesley. Let's take a look at the New England offense. So now the Patriots have been very balanced this year thanks to Dillon. He has 900 yards. He missed one game, and that was the game they lost at Pittsburgh. Play fake. Brady doing a lot more play action this year, but the Chiefs this time second as Jared Allen, a great-looking rookie out of Idaho State, who has shown his mettle early on this season and has been a big part of what the Chiefs are trying to do defensively, gets him for the sack.
Let's watch Jared Allen here. He's right here, and watch the move that he makes. You start up on the outside, and he just keeps fighting again. You get that outside shoulder, and then you get right beyond them. He didn't go for the play-action fake at all. He was in a pass rush mode. It was on first down, and he went for Tom Brady.
And beat the tackle Matt Light on the play. 6-yard sack on 2nd and 16. Off the play fake. Short pass this time. Out in the flat to Patrick pass. Let's take a look at the KC defense here.
Eric Hicks, Maryland.
Ryan Sims, North Carolina.
Lionel Dalton, Detroit Cooley High School.
Jared Allen, Idaho State.
Scott Fujita, University of California. Kuika Mitchell, South Florida.
Quinn Cable, University of Arkansas.
Eric Warfield, Nebraska.
Greg Wesley, Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Jerome Woods, Memphis.
William Barty, Oklahoma.
3rd and 9, and the Patriots welcome back the receiver Deion Branch, who hasn't played since the 2nd week of the season. He's number 83. In the bunch on the left, Brady looking right, floats one, caught. Tight end Daniel Graham across the 50 with a stiff arm and out of bounds at the 43, and a flag is thrown at the end of the play. So they sent the 3 receivers to the left, sent the tight end Graham out into the pattern from the right, and Brady only looked in that direction, and it's 27 yards.
That's exactly what they did, and they brought their safety, Greg Wesley, on that play.
Number 52 defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Quentin Caver with the pace mask. Bill Levy is the ref.
So they're going to be short one guy. But here's a look over here, Al. Here's what you're talking about. 3 wide receivers on this side. So that brings the coverage over to this side, and then they're going to get the tight end back on this side. So what happens, you see when they bring the safety from that side, there's no one on Graham.
At the 38, Graham is the only number 1 draft choice on the entire Patriot offense. And that is broken up. Warfield sensing the ball coming toward Givens, looking at Givens all the way and breaking up the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
One thing we were talking to Bill Belichick last night, he was saying that the worst thing about this Kansas City defense, or the thing that they do the worst, is the deep passes. They're vulnerable to the deep passes. They said you have to keep throwing deep passes on them all night. I mean, you have to start off that way, not get a feel for the game and then go deep, but start off right off the bat going deep against them.
3 tight ends here. They haven't had a running play yet, and now they do as Dillon takes the ball close to the 30-yard line. He comes up about 3 yards shy of the first down. Dillon at one point in his career has set a rookie rushing record for a single game, had the NFL record until it was broken by Jamal Lewis. Played his college ball at Washington. He was only there 1 season. Played for 2 other junior colleges, and with a lot of bad teams in Cincinnati, wore out his welcome. The departure was mutual, and you can see his last 4 starts in triple figures in each of them, including 151 last Sunday night against Buffalo. 4 wideouts now on 3rd down and 3. So the Pats giving them a lot of different looks early. Some flinching up front, but no flag. And here goes Dillon for a first down. Inside the 20, taken down at the 17-yard line by Jerome Woods.
You know, that's where this Patriot team is so tough. You know, you can get in that 3rd down, go 4 wide receivers, spread them out, and you have 4 receivers that you can go to any one of them, and Tom Brady does. In addition, you have the 5th option, and that's hand the ball to Corey Dillon on the draw. Watch Jared Allen here. You see, when you're a pass rusher and you're going after the passer all the time, you know you can do what to you. You can run a draw inside of you.
A draw good for 14 yards. Now a little toss. Dillon gets taken down, knifing through. Inside the blockers was Kawika Mitchell, the middle linebacker. Gain of a couple. The New England Patriots have scored first in their last 14 consecutive regular season games. If they do it again tonight, they would tie the record set by the Dolphins in 1978. And that's been the story with New England. They're very rarely behind.
Yeah, and that's Charlie. Excuse me. I was just going to say that's Charlie Wise, their offensive coordinator, is a great play caller, and he has a list of starters.
Put a big premium on the opening drive. And Brady throws, and that pass is incomplete, and there's a flag at the 6-yard line on the pass intended for David Givens.
You know, Tom Brady was talking last night about the plays that they call starters.
There's no foul for illegal contact. The quarterback was out of the pocket. Third down.
Plays that they're going to start the game with on the first drive. So this drive has been talked about. These plays have been talked about. They've been rehearsed, and when they come out, they're almost perfect. There's Charlie Wise there. He has his chart. He's calling off that. Tom Brady gets a play in his helmet. Tom Brady also has a wristband.
Third down and 10 now. Deion Branch back in the game. He's flanked wide to the right. Dillon goes in motion. Brady looking to the right, and there's a flag before the snap, so no play here. The pass was to Patrick.
Prior to the snap, full start. Number 82 offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Daniel Graham, the tight end, and that's going to make it 3rd and 15.
You know, Tom Brady was saying last night how happy he is to have Deion Branch back. He really hasn't had him in a couple of months, and he said that he started practicing a little last week and practiced all week this week, and he said he doesn't look like he lost a step at all. And if he has a favorite receiver, again, he moves the ball around. He threw the ball last week to 11 different receivers, but if he has a favorite, I think it's Deion Branch.
His eyes lit up. You saw the 8 catches. Remember, he's only played a game and a half, so he was off to a good start this season. 3rd and 15. Brady gunning it to the left, and that is Deion Branch to the 5-yard line. So Branch comes back and makes his first catch since mid-September, and it's good for 17 and sets up a 1st and goal.
And this is where Tom Brady is so good. He had 5 wide receivers, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. And here's Deion Branch right here. He's the inside guy and left. So they have the 2 to the left, 3 to the right, and they're all running patterns and hooks and outs and stuff like that. Tom Brady gets good protection, just sits back there and finds Deion Branch.
Branch wide left this time. Ball at the 5 on 1st and goal. Corey Dillon looking for the end zone and finds it for the touchdown. So a big early 3rd down conversion after the opening kickoff, and once again for the 15th consecutive game, New England scores first.
You know, it was funny. Tom Brady was telling Michelle how he likes to watch Corey Dillon run. He signaled touchdown right here when Corey Dillon is at about the 5-yard line. Right now, Tom Brady was back there watching Corey Dillon, and he was given the touchdown signal. 10 plays, 71 yards, 4 runs, 6 passes.
And 3 3rd down conversions as Vinatieri boots it through. They converted on 3rd and 9, 3rd and 3, and 3rd and 10. 4.5 minutes into the game, the world champions are on top, 7-0 in Kansas City. Make it 9 wins in their first 10 games this season. Adam Vinatieri to kick off now. Taken by Dante Hall at the 12-yard line. John talking about Hall in the open and what he meant last year. Good run back here as he gives them field position near midfield. It's a 34-yard return to the 46-yard line. Kansas City and Trent Green coming out.
Defense.
Blaylock gets to start at running back. And Green on 1st down goes over the middle, and that's a sight that Kansas City wants you to see all night long. Green to Gonzalez, the tight end over the middle, 22 yards. That'll be a featured play.
Yeah, and that was the thing Bill Belichick says we have to take away. We have to take Tony Gonzalez away. We have to take the middle of the field away. The Chiefs want to run a bunch. You see, Gonzalez was the middle of the bunch, and what they want to do this for is so that they don't get jammed on the line.
Johnny Morton goes in motion on first down from the New England 34-yard line. This is Blaylock, 186 yards last week at New Orleans, and here is the Kansas City offense.
Trent Green, Indiana.
Jared Blaylock, Stephen F. Austin.
Tony Richardson, Auburn University.
Johnny Morton, USC.
Eddie Kennison, LSU.
Tony Gonzalez, University of California.
Willie Rope, Louisiana Tech. Brian Waters, North Texas.
Casey Wigman, Iowa.
Will Shields, Nebraska.
John Wellborn, California, Berkeley.
Kansas City with a great offensive line. Rofe, Shields to the Pro Bowl every year, but not right there as the blocking breaks down and Ty Warren comes flying in to sack Green. So, of course, the minute you start giving plaudits to the offensive line, you get a sack.
Yeah, what they do is they blitz 7, and it's a confusion thing. You'll see the tackle's going to block out here. See McGinnis coming. The tackle blocks out, and then they let Ty Warren come. See, you never know whether McGinnis is a lineman or a linebacker. When he comes, the tackle thinks he has to take him as a linebacker, and no one blocks the defensive end, number 94, Ty Warren.
Wellborn went for McGinnis. That gave Warren the free path. 9-yard sack. Green out of the gun on 3rd and 19. Over the middle, and that is caught a little short of the first by Johnny Morton. He gets it to about the 26, setting up a 4th and 2. Asante Samuel, second-year corner, makes the tackle. The crowd, with the team at 3 and 6 and a great offense, naturally they would like Vermeil to go for it on 4th and 2, but in comes the field goal unit.
Yeah, and I know what Dick is thinking. We're just getting started here. There's plenty of more football to play. There's plenty of plays where those came from. The toughest points are always the first ones.
44-yard attempt. Lawrence Tynes here. Morton Anderson was here in preseason. Looked like he'd make the team, but instead they go with Tynes. Better kickoffs. Stronger leg and younger. And this one from 44 away is good. So each team scoring on its first drive. 7:47 remaining in the opening quarter in KC. 7-3 Patriots. As they come from behind to beat Houston. So the Packers red hot. The Rams up and down next Monday night from Lambeau Field on Monday Night Football. Tynes to kick off now. 15-yard line. Bethel Johnson to take it. Cutting to the other side, and that's a good open field tackle by Greg Wesley. 7:42 left in the period. You know, they talk about the Patriots and a team in capital letters. 11 guys with a sack. 14 players have a takeaway. Brady has hit 15 different players with a reception. 11 guys have scored. So they're in double figures in all of those categories. And here we are only halfway through the season.
Right, and some of those guys that scored on offense are defensive players.
Mike Vrabel has got a touchdown. This is Corey Dillon. And Dillon is able to pick up a couple of more yards after William Barty went low, and Dillon went right through him for an extra 4 or so.
You know, the thing about that graphic and this team is that there's no stars maybe on the team, but there's also no others. I mean, there's no second stringers or third stringers. Everyone has a role, and when you go and you watch them practice, everyone practices and acts and is coached and is treated like they're a starter.
Belichick has them masterfully prepared for every game. 2nd and 5. And they come up a little short of the first. David Gibbons is there. Even the one game they lost, they took the lead, and then Pittsburgh got red hot. And that was a situation where they had no running game that day. They just couldn't run the ball because Corey Dillon was hurt.
Yeah, and you know, and when you talk to Bill Belichick about that, he said that we just got whipped in every area in that game, offense, defense, everything. So we just didn't play well. And I think we asked him if he thought that was a good thing for his team, and he said, heck no, a loss is never a good thing.
Hates it, period. 3rd down and 2 from the 36. Brady on a roll, hit as he throws, and the pass is incomplete, and that's Ryan Sims who put the pressure on that time, forcing Brady's pass to be too high. 4th down, in comes the punting group.
You'll see Ryan Sims. He's right here, and he's going to get the pressure right up here. Brady tries to get away. He's sprinting out to this side. Ryan Sims gets a jump right here, gets a push, breaks through, and just chases Brady from the backside.
Josh Miller's done a great job. He was picked up in the offseason, averaging 45.4 per punt. Dante Hall is back to receive it. Great angled kick, and Hall gets taken down at the 15. Beautiful kick by Miller. Not only good distance, but he pins him in the corner. It's a 48-yard boot, leaves Hall no room. Reed is there for the tackle, and Kansas City will have it when we come back. Kansas City, Arrowhead Stadium, New England on top 7-3, close to 80,000 in an atmosphere very similar to what you have in Green Bay. 1st and 10, 16-yard line. The Chiefs down by 4. Ball given to Blaylock, and let's take a look and meet the Patriots starting defense.
Moreland, 1AA powerhouse, Georgia Southern.
Rodney Harrison, Markham, Illinois.
Eugene Wilson, Illinois.
Randall Blue Gate, LSU.
Meanwhile, the rookie Wilfork is in at nose. They're missing their 2 starting corners. The ball is caught by Jason Dunn. And keep in mind, Ty Law and Tyrone Poole would be the 2 starting corners for the Super Bowl champions. They're both hurt, both expected back before the end of the regular season. But in the meantime, they go with a rookie and a second-year guy.
You know, and that's what I don't understand. You know, that to me is the toughest thing. You know, you have to have corners in this league. And when you have rookie free agent corners, I'm surprised that Randall Gay out here hasn't been picked on. But they play roles, they do things, they hide guys, they camouflage. They just play the game well.
3rd and 4, and Troy Brown is in defensively. And that is caught by Tony Gonzalez for a first down. Troy Brown had an interception last week. Brown, the longtime receiver, number 80 for the New England Patriots. And there he is. Obviously plays 99% of the time offensively, but once in a while comes in defensively, and had a pick last week.
Yeah, he comes in and he plays on the slot. And you see Tony Gonzalez here. He's being covered by Rodney Harrison. So what he does, he runs right into Rodney Harrison. It's an option route. If Rodney Harrison stays inside, then you back and you go back the outside.
That time they had Brown on Hall. First down, 34-yard line through the middle. They go again with Blaylock, the replacement for Holmes out of Stephen F. Austin. For a line on Trent Green and what happens from time to time with him, he throws about 54% of his passes outside the numerals. And you can see the average rating is 75.6, 3 TD, 6 picks, not very good. But between the numerals, 120.7, and take a look at that. That's the largest rating difference among the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And right now he is 4 out of 4 for 54 yards. 2nd down and 9. He goes outside the numerals there, and that rating is going to go up because Eddie Kennison is going to go all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. 65 yards. So the Patriots putting a premium on the middle, trying to take away Gonzalez, leave the outside free, and Earthwind Moreland gets beat by Kennison for the touchdown.
We were just talking about these corners and wondering why people didn't pick on them. Earthwind Moreland is the corner right here. Eddie Kennison is the outside guy. Moreland is looking to the inside. Kennison just runs right by him. And Trent Green just gets it right up over Moreland's head. See, Moreland, when he looked back to the inside, he lost Eddie Kennison to the outside.
Lawrence Tynes to tack on the extra point. That was Kansas City's longest pass play of the season, 65 yards. So the Chiefs fell behind early, but back they come with 10 unanswered points. And the Chiefs are up by 3 at Arrowhead. Thanksgiving weekend and next Sunday night on ESPN at 8:30, the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire on hand in Denver. AFC West rivalry. Broncos on top at 7-3 along with San Diego in that division. Eddie Kennison, who's been hot over the past month and stays hot with that touchdown grab. And now Tynes' kick is a line drive which is caught up at the 28-yard line by Tully Bantacane, one of the linebackers. He caught it on the fly, and brings it back out to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, if we watch why Moreland didn't get any help, here's Rodney Harrison and here's Tony Gonzalez, and they're so concerned with Tony Gonzalez that he can't get out to help on Kennison. Now watch this. Gonzalez comes down. You see him come down there. Now watch, Kennison looks right in there and holds, and that's going to let Kennison get by him. You see right there when Harrison looks inside, because he's so concerned about Gonzalez, he lets Kennison get beyond him.
Good for 65 yards. Crowd getting louder and louder as Dillon, a flag is thrown, but you can see there the difference that he has made for a team that really hasn't had that good of a ground game.
Number 76 offense. 5-yard, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Brandon Gorn. But John, as you know, the Patriots have gone almost 2 decades without averaging 4 yards per rush, which is about the league average. And now finally they get Dillon, and they're way over that mark.
Yeah, and you say, why are they throwing the ball deeper, more up the field? Because a lot of times when they didn't have that running back, they used those what they call long handoffs or short passes in lieu of a run. Now they're not doing that as much. They're just running the ball with Corey Dillon, or they're passing it down the field.
Dillon coming into the game averaging 5 yards per carry. Tonight he's averaging 6 yards per carry. 1st and 20 now. He stays in the block. Pass is caught by Daniel Graham, and the tight end gets spilled at the 46 by Eric Warfield. And here's Michelle.
Well, you guys were talking about the versatility of the Patriots, the ability of so many different players to do so many different things. Scott Pioli, who is the vice president of player personnel, and Bill Belichick are very, very good friends. And Pioli understands exactly what Belichick wants in a player. And he knows the players have to fit not only that desire, but also the system that Belichick runs. So if you're being looked at by the Patriots, it's more than just your play, Al, and I'll finish that up in a second.
2nd down and 12 now. Here come the Chiefs to give the ball to Dillon. There's a flag again. And Jared Allen and John Browning are there. All right, Michelle, for the rest of the story, as they say.
Well, if you're being looked at by the Patriots, they're looking at your football skills, yes, but they're also looking at how you practice, how you watch film, even how you interact with the equipment manager. So it's a very specific type of guy. It's a lot of gut feeling. But, John, don't you think that gut feeling tells you a lot about the player you're getting?
Yeah, and I never worried how they interacted with the equipment guy, but I did like those other things. I think that's the big thing. I mean, it's not how high a guy jumps or how much he lifts or how fast he runs. It's how he plays football. And really, in the end, what Bill Belichick wants is smart football players.
Penalty was declined. It was holding against Andruzzi. So it's 3rd down and 14. Play clock going all the way down, and Brady can't get the play off, and the crowd has a lot to do with that. 80,000 full throat. Their team up by 3 with 2:02 to go in the period.
Well, Gunn got him on that blitz. He ran right into a blitz on that.
Stadium with 2:02 to go. New England just took a timeout. The Patriots have only trailed in the first quarter this season at the end of the period once. That was the game at Pittsburgh when they trailed 21-3 after taking a 3-0 lead.
Gunther Cunningham the other day said, Al, if they get 3rd and long, Tom Brady better duck because he's going to blitz him. And he does.
He has 5 wide receivers. Here he comes. They get it underneath to Brown. And Brown with a couple of nice moves, but well short of the first down as he gets tackled in front of the Chiefs bench at the 47-yard line. So the Kansas City defense creates another punt here as the period winds down.
Well, Gunther Cunningham had 6 defensive backs in, and one of those defensive backs is number 20, Benny Sack. And you're going to see him blitz right up the middle and make Tom Brady release it quickly.
Josh Miller, whose first punt was a beauty, 48 yards and right to the sideline. giving Dante Hall no chance to return it. To boot it again. And he goes in that same direction, but this time it is out of bounds, and they'll march it up to 15 or 18 yards. The official is trying to get there, but you had a little skirmish, and then he stops at the 13-yard line. So that's where they'll mark the ball. That's where it goes out of bounds after a 39-yard punt.
You know, one of the things that's tough about this Patriot defense is the two-end guys, McGinnis and Vrabel, is you don't know. There's Willie McGinnis to the left, Mike Vrabel on right. You don't know if they're going to blitz, or if they're going to come like their defensive linemen, or if they're going to play like linebackers. So if you count them as a linebacker, then you don't get a big guy on them. That time they had both of them coming from the outside. And then sometimes they'll put one guy down, the other up. Sometimes they'll put both of them in the middle.
Different look every play, seemingly. On first down, Derek Blaylock gets the carry for a couple up to the 15. With Blaylock playing, another interesting story regarding the Chiefs. A couple of years ago, they didn't know if Priest Holmes' career had been ended with a hip injury. So they go out in the draft and they picked Larry Johnson. There's Priest in civvies tonight with a bad knee. They took Larry Johnson from Penn State. There he is. So here you are a couple of years later, and it's still not Johnson. It's Derek Blaylock, who is their featured back right now and probably will be until Holmes gets back.
Yeah, Larry Johnson has never pulled the cork. I mean, he has never done anything to make them think he should be a starter.
Short drop, good pass inside to Eddie Kennison, and another flag comes down at the end of the play. Asante Samuel with the coverage.
And it's interesting that Asante Samuel is in there now, because the last time was Earth Wind Moreland was at that left corner. He was beaten by Eddie Kennison, and now Samuel's in there.
Number 22 defense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Earthwind got fired.
He did. And so now Samuel's in here, and here he is right here. Earthwind fired, so Samuel comes in and fouls right off the bat.
So he's in trouble right now, too. Again, we go back to Ty Law and Tyrone Poole, the two key guys. Both hurt, both out till probably mid or late December. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Green throws, and that's caught by Tony Gonzalez, who sits down as the pass reaches him. And Eugene Wilson with a coverage, 15-yard gain, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter, a quarter in which Trent Green was 7 of 7 for 142 yards. And at the end of one, Kansas City 10, New England 7. And Monday Night Football resumes after this message and a word from our ABC stations. New England coming in 8-1, Kansas City 3-6. KC has the lead. 1st and 10 on the first play of the second period from the 38-yard line. Blaylock, and he's had no room at all to roam thus far. Blaylock has carried the ball 5 times for only 9 yards. All of KC's damage through the air.
You know, I can see where they miss Priest Holmes here, because one of the things that Priest Holmes has, and the offensive lineman the Kansas City Chiefs talk about, he has great patience. You know, and he lets the blocks develop and then runs off him. Derek Blaylock doesn't. Watch this. We're going to see Brian Waters pull here. See 54 there, and he's just starting to get his block, and Blaylock is too close. He doesn't let stuff develop. He's running and getting there too quickly.
2nd down and 7. Has to show a little bit more patience. Dual play fake, and then it's thrown underneath, but that won't net very much as Blaylock makes the catch. Gets tackled up at the 41-yard line, setting up a 3rd and 7.
You know, you're talking to Bill Belichick, and he was saying that he always tells the team, you know, that every game is a separate entity, and, you know, what we did last week doesn't matter. We have to go. And he says, here's the team, here's the problems they present, and this is what we have to take away. And I said, what are the problems they present offensively? The first thing he said is Tony Gonzalez. We have to take Tony Gonzalez away.
And Gonzalez has already caught 3 passes tonight for 49 yards. Out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 8. Green under pressure, and he will get taken down. Roosevelt Colvin, coming back from hip surgery and playing a little bit more of late, is the first guy to get there and setting up a 4th down and a punt.
Yeah, and Mike Vrabel, too. Vrabel's usually on the right side. That time he was on the left side. he goes right around John Wellborn. You're going to see him outside and this side right here, and he just dips his right shoulder right under Wellborn.
Steve Cheek to punt. Kevin Falk. He'll take it at the 21-yard line and bring it back to the 24-yard line. Benny Sapp tackles him there. 2 minutes into the second period in Kansas City. 10-7 Chiefs. First and 10 as the Patriots have it at their own 25-yard line. 3-point Kansas City lead as Tom Brady retreats, steps up in the pocket. Good protection, throws into double coverage intended for Deion Branch. William Barty with the primary coverage at second down. Tom Brady throwing deeper and deeper this season. As you can take a look from the line of scrimmage in red, if he goes from the line of scrimmage to 10 yards, 91.8. 92.2 from 10 to 20, and beyond 20, 84.4. So tremendously consistent is Tom Brady, no matter where he's throwing the ball this year, John.
Yeah, and I think Corey Dillon has a lot to do with that too.
There's the fake. Brady fires, caught, and that's Deion Branch as his favorite guy is back. Eric Warfield makes the tackle, and that's an 18-yard pickup.
Yeah, his eyes really lit up last night when he was talking about Deion Branch. I mean, he was kind of going through all his receivers and, you know, the running back and everything. And then when he talked about this guy, Deion Branch, he said, well, it's just great to have him back. And he's been gone a long time, but he hasn't missed a step. And he's the guy, when we need a play, he's the guy that I'm going to look for.
2 catches, 34 yards for Deion Branch. Dillon to the 50-yard line, tackled by the outside linebacker Quentin Caver. Gain of 7 on the play, and still down is Dillon. So Dillon missed that one game with a leg injury against Pittsburgh and has been, I guess, 90-95% since then. But,
did you see the difference? No, I was just saying the difference though in patience. Corey Dillon on that run, he had the patience that I was talking about that Derek Blaylock didn't. You see, a runner has to get up there. Let your blockers block. Let them get on there, guys. Let them hold off and then make the move. But you can't be impatient where you get there before your blockers are finished blocking.
The backup back is Kevin Falk, and he has the ball with Dillon on the bench, and that's a gain of 1 yard. Lionel Dalton makes the tackle, so the ball is right at the 50-yard line, and it will be 3rd down and a long 2 coming up.
Yeah, I was saying I think the reason that Tom Brady's going down the field more is because of Corey Dillon. 1, he can run the ball. 2, you get 8 men in the box, so you can go play action pass. And 3, you don't have to throw those short passes and little runs anymore.
Dillon comes back, so he was out for just 1 play. Third and 2. Nothing happening to his left. Flag thrown. Brown makes the catch. For the moment, it's a first down and a lot more, but there's a penalty marker on this side of the field back at the 48-yard line.
He lined up in bunch right, and he was going to throw it out here to his left. Julian Battle, number 26, had good coverage, but he may be the guy the penalty's called on.
To the face, number 26 defense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play. First down.
There's Battle.
From up here, I was looking at that, and I thought that was good defense because this is where Tom Brady is trying to throw the ball. And you know, defensive backs like to be aggressive. They like to get up and press, but doggone, if you can't do that, it's hard to be aggressive and it's hard to press, and they're going to take cover corners right out of football.
Battle worked on Givens, and that's a 22-yard gain. The ball now at the 28-yard line. First down for the Patriots. Brady deep in the pocket with a lot of time. Flag comes in. We saw that come flying in. High arcing flag. Branch made the catch.
You know, talking about throwing the ball, though, or ball coming in there. Tom Brady.
Pass, holding, number 44, defense. Penalties decline. First down.
Warfield.
You know, he really puts some mustard on it. I mean, once he decides to throw the ball, he's a long strider. You know, a lot of quarterbacks like to keep their feet square and under him. When Tom Brady looks and he decides that that ball is going, it is going. And he always finds a hole. You know, he doesn't run, he doesn't move a lot, but look, he'll slide around just enough to find that hole to throw it between.
Meanwhile, Jerome Woods, the safety who made the tackle, comes limping off, so he's out. And there goes Dillon with some hard running to the 9-yard line. Patriots good-looking drive. Their first drive resulted in a touchdown. This one began back at their own 25-yard line, and thus far they've accumulated 66 yards on it.
You know, any run inside starts here. You have to get this block right here. Get some movement there. Watch the set of Dan Copeland and the job that he does and gets turned, and that made the hole for Corey Dillon.
Second down and 5 from the 9-yard line. Draw. A lot of room for Dillon. Shakes off the first guy, goes to the outside, a little stiff arm there, and he's thrust out of bounds at the 2-yard line. First and goal.
Yeah, that's the second time that they've done that, Al. They go 4 wide receivers, get you spread out, and make you think pass, and then run the draw to Corey Dillon. Like I said, you look at that and you say, geez, I have 4 good wide receivers. I got them all spread out here, 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 here. But I still have that 5th option, which isn't bad, running the draw to Corey Dillon. You know, we talked about defensive guys playing offense. There's 2 of them in here now, Seymour and Vrabel.
And they give the ball to Dillon. Corey trying to lean and reach the goal line, but doesn't. John Browning makes the stop. So you talk about the versatility, and there's Vrabel, no stranger to touchdown receptions.
He was the left tight end, and Richard Seymour, number 93 there, is the fullback, and he was the lead blocker.
And there they are on second down and goal.
Vrabel, the old linebacker, was in the thing shaking his head like he was going to get the ball.
Dillon again. Flag is thrown. He gets in for the moment. Brady indicates to his bench it's going to be against Kansas City.
Offside. Number 90 defense. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
'Tis true. Ryan Sims and Dick Vermeil has watched his team just kill itself this year with penalties.
I think when they put Richard Seymour, the defensive lineman, in at fullback, I think all you have to do is watch him, and wherever he goes, the ball is going to be right behind him. There he goes, and here comes the ball right in behind him.
310 pounds, providing the leverage. Adam Vinatieri now for the extra point. And New England reassumes the lead with 8:27 remaining in the first half. They work on Dillon, but for the moment the Pats have the lead 14-10. Rams next Monday night. That's a beauty. Vinatieri to kick off. 6-yard line. Dante Hall behind 4 blockers. Skirts the sideline and gets run out of the 34-yard line with 8:21 remaining in the first half. 4-point game. Pats on top in Kansas City. On this 45-degree Monday night. 14-10 as the New England Patriots have the lead. Trent Green has been perfect. He's 8 out of 8. 1 touchdown, 141 yards to this point in the game. First down at the 34-yard line. To the outside, he's 9 for 9 now as Jason Dunn picks up about 6. Here's Michelle.
Well, Willie Rose joined this offensive line in 2002, Al, but he told me it didn't take him long for this whole thing to feel like family. He said this offensive line feels like brothers. He said, we work for each other. We lay down for each other. We do everything together. We spend time together after games and practices, having a meal. We support each other's foundations. And he said, that makes us a stronger unit. We've been there for each other. But tonight, Al, only 9 yards rushing for this offensive line.
Of course, the big story is Priest Holmes and Chivvies. Here goes Blaylock. And Blaylock, who had a great day at the Superdome last week, has been limited tonight. 6 carries, 11 yards, and he's close to a first down. In fact, hasn't.
And Derek Blaylock is no Priest Holmes, and the Kansas City Chiefs really miss Priest Holmes. Now, here's a guy that I really like, Brian Waters, and watch what he does. To me, he's one of the best guards in football. You see, he starts out to the left, gets an angle, and then he just drives up on his guy. You help your fellow offensive lineman first, and then you come up on the linebacker next. But you know, it begs the question: is it the offensive line that makes the running back, or the running back that makes the offensive line?
Well, that's been the question in Denver for so long. I mean, the backs have been great, but the line's been phenomenal. So it seems like whoever they plug in there, you know, he's going to a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I've always felt that the great running back makes a great offensive line.
From the 44. Green throwing, it's juggled and dropped. Eddie Kennison had it right there between the numbers.
Well, you know, we talked earlier, they got Moreland over here on this side, so after they got him, they put Asante Samuel in there. And watch, Samuel is going to look back. He's looking to the inside. He doesn't get a bump or a jam or anything, just lets Eddie Kennison run right by him, and Kennison drops the ball.
Samuel may have just flicked it.
Yeah, he may have, but the ball was still in Kennison's hand, just bounced off his right shoulder. But you're right, he may have flicked that ball.
2nd down and 10. And again, nothing cooking on the ground as Willie McGinnis is right there to take care of Blaylock.
We were talking about Willie McGinnis being an outside guy on one side, Vrabel on the other side. You better get those guys blocked, because if you don't, they come crashing down the line of scrimmage and flatten out, and they make way too many tackles on the inside. So even though you're running to the inside, you better get McGinnis and Vrabel blocked, or they'll make the play.
3rd down and 9 now from the 45-yard line. 6.5 to go in the opening half in Kansas City. Green, and that pass is there in coverage again, number 80, seeing a few plays defensively in the middle of the action.
Right, and he's laughing at that one because he started on the slot on the right, then the slot went in motion, so he had to come all the way across the field, and then he had to back up, and I'm sure that he wasn't sure that he was doing exactly what he was supposed to do, but it ended up all right.
Steve Cheek signed at the beginning of the year out of Humboldt State in California to do the punting. High floater, fielded, 7-yard line, flag down. Falk runs it back to the 18. And Bill Levy, the old fireman and policeman, will make the call here.
I think Bill Levy is one of the good referees in this league. Like you said, he's from San Jose. He was a fireman, retired as a fireman, then became a policeman. Or no, he was a policeman first, then retired as a policeman, became a fireman, and now he's a retired fireman.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 81 of the kicking team. Going out of bounds and staying out of bounds. 15-yard penalty. Previous spot. Repeat 4th down.
That's Chris Horn.
What the rule is on kick coverage, you can go out of bounds. Now here's Chris Horn right here. But when you do go out of bounds, you can't keep staying out of. I mean, you can't keep running up out of bounds. You see, right there is where he was wrong. He was okay at first when he got knocked out of bounds. That's legal. There's nothing you can do about that. But once you get off those blocks, then you have to come back on the field immediately.
And Dexter Reed did a pretty good job of making sure he couldn't get back into the field of play.
Yeah, so that part was okay. And then when he got past Dexter Reed, then he had to come back in.
And this is a bad kick, a spinner, end over end. and goes out of bounds up at the 43-yard line. So that was a very costly penalty. And spotted at the 44. 26-yard boot. New England starts at the 44-yard line. First down. And Dillon can't get out of the backfield. Taken down, loss of 1. Middle linebacker Kawika Mitchell with the stop.
You know what they did on that one? They brought in 3 tight ends to try and run a real power formation. They did a lot of that against Buffalo last week. You know, you kind of get everyone in there and you get, you know, here's a tight end here, here's a tight end here, here's a tight end over here. So you have a real power side on that side. And you think that you can run against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they played that very well. Kawika Mitchell didn't fall for anything.
Second down 11. Brady throws, caught. That is Daniel Graham getting behind the linebackers and still rolling down to the 10-yard line and beyond. So 2 linebackers were there. Finally, Shenard Hart's playing for the hurt Jerome Woods makes the tackle. 47 yards, and Dick Vermeil is heated.
Yeah, he has to be, because not covering is something. I mean, a guy's going to catch a ball, but doggone it, you have to tackle him. You have to tackle him there. You have to tackle him. You can't let a guy catch a ball and run it 15 or 20 yards, especially a tight end. It should have been tackled right there. And I think that's really been haunting the Kansas City Chiefs defense this whole first half. Their tackling has been poor.
And they've got a ton of big plays this year. That's officially 48 on that one. Dillon to the outside, and he is strung out, and that time it's Kawika Mitchell who is able to stop him behind the line of scrimmage as we go to Michelle.
Well, Jerome Woods, you mentioned he's out and he's questionable for the rest of the night. Al, a left knee contusion. He had been struggling the last couple of weeks, but now in addition to that, in a lot of pain and in the locker room getting further evaluation. Questionable for tonight, Al.
Woods made the Pro Bowl last year. Hartz plays on a lot of special teams and dime packages, but he's the guy now in the game. Second down and goal, 4.5 to go in the half.
And when you talk to the Chiefs about their defense and to Gunther Cunningham, that's one of the areas that has really disappointed him, is the play of their safeties.
Matt Light, I think, moved first. Patriots tackle.
Right of the snap, false start. Number 72 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Correctamente. Second down and goal now. That'll move the ball back to the 19-yard line.
I think if you say, what's the toughest position to play on the road, I think it's left tackle. Offensive left tackle, because it's always a guy, you know, when noise comes, it's going to be, and you're the farthest guy from the quarterback, you have the speed rusher against you, and if that is probably right there the toughest position to play on the road.
Boy, that was great timing on the part of Hicks, and the pass is incomplete. Eric Hicks came flying through, and William Barty as well. It'll be third down and goal. I remember I used to talk to Dan Dierdorf a lot about that. You're on the road. If you're the center, obviously you know the snap. The guards can, it's almost like if you're sitting next to somebody in a stadium, you can hear the guy next to you, but if he's one removed as the tackle is, you can't hear him.
Right, you can't, and usually they're turned to the outside too. I mean, not only are you too removed from the quarterback, but that rusher that you're concerned with is outside of you, so you're turned away. You're cocked to the outside, away from the voice.
Third down and goal. Brady flings it to the near side and incomplete. So the Kansas City defense stiffens after a first down and goal after giving up that big play to Daniel Graham, and they'll force a field goal attempt.
They gave him a delayed blitz on that time. You see, here's a left tackle. Now, Matt Light is trying to look inside so he can hear, turn his head inside so he can hear. Then he has to snap his head back outside. That time, he had a little help from his left guard, Joe Andruzzi.
Vinatieri, 23 of 24, 37-yard attempt. He leads the league in scoring, and he'll tack on 3 more right there. So 3:52 remaining now in the opening half. And Dick Vermeil watching his team trail now by 7. Dick Vermeil now in his 4th season here. Remember, he retired after the Super Bowl win, and for the Kansas City Chiefs, Dick coming here, and since he came over in 2001, 6-10 the first year, then at 500, then last year the great start. But take a look at the disparity offensively, terrific. Defensively, anything but. In fact, Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator, paid the price. He got fired. They brought back Gunther Cunningham. And the fascinating thing, John, is they kept all of their players. They were bad last year defensively, but they kept all the players and just fired the coordinator.
Yeah, and in all due respect to Gunther Cunningham and all assistant coaches in the league, that's overrated. I mean, there's nothing that can do. But you know, part of that is a system today too, Al. I think that when we're talking about free agency and stuff, you spend money on one side of the football, and then you don't have money on the other side of football. And I don't know that was a Chiefs problem, but I think that's what the Colts are going through, and other teams that have great offense and poor defense, and the Chiefs kind of fall into that category.
Meanwhile, New England seems to have that pretty balanced. I mean, not only are they hot, not only are they seeking a third Super Bowl win in 4 years, they don't have any salary cap problems in Foxborough. Dante Hall from the 7-yard line. And Hall, who ran back 4 kicks last year for touchdowns, 2 punts, 2 kickoffs, is taken down by Dexter Reed up at the 32-yard line. Trent Green watching Rodney Harrison on the other side. And of course, they will be forever linked. You go back to '99. This was a preseason game in St. Louis. Chargers against the Rams. Here came Harrison on a blitz. Green ready to throw. Down goes Trent Green. That ended Trent Green's season. He eventually, of course, winds up here. It brought to the forefront Kurt Warner. Nobody knew about Kurt Warner. And, of course, by the time that season was over, Kurt Warner had won the Super Bowl.
And when you think of that hit and that play and how many lives did it change?
It was amazing. Green throws. Pass is incomplete, intended for Eddie Kennison, because had Green stayed healthy, that would have been pretty fascinating to see what would have happened. Trent hadn't played that much, even though he was experienced. And everybody thought, Kurt Warner, you mean the old Seattle running back? Who is that guy?
Yeah, well, after the injury, remember the next day, Dick Vermeil was crying, and Trent Green, we lost everything. We kind of lost our season. And who's this Kurt Warner? And then he comes and not only starts and plays so well, he was outstanding. Takes him to the Super Bowl, and then Trent Green has to leave. He ends up here.
2nd and 10. And that is Johnny Morton making the catch, but a flag is downfield at the 42-yard line. So the pass is on his fingertips. He's able to make the catch pending the call here. A 36-yard pass.
Illegal contact. Number 37 defense. Penalties decline. Result of the play, first down.
Talking about Rodney Harrison. He's the guy with the penalty.
Right, and he was the guy that was on Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton is right here in the slot. You see Eddie Kennison is the outside. They both come together. Kennison stays to the outside. Johnny Morton comes a little into the post, and Trent Green looks him off and then brings the ball right back into Johnny Morton.
So we're talking about Green and Harrison, and they're both involved on that play. It's for 33-yard line. Great fake, and look at this. All the time you'd ever need, and the pass is low, and it is Eddie Kennison there, and Eddie Kennison, despite New England saying it's going to be a completion for the moment. Now, of course, the Patriots are looking over to Belichick to say, hey, look, challenge this, and he can still challenge. We're outside 2 minutes, and there's your challenge flag.
I'll tell you, this is either great offensive play or no rush at all by the Patriots. It looked like it was a play-action pass, and they were all playing the run. And they just stood there, and they let Trent Green stand back there and look and look and look.
Not sure I've seen anything conclusive to this point. Let's take a look again. The ball is out, and if he doesn't have control of it and it touches the ground, it will be overturned. That's the key right here.
Well, Teddy Bruschi probably had the best look at it, and he was saying it was down.
New England is challenging the ruling on the field that the pass was caught.
So Levy goes under the hood. Then we'll go to a commercial break and back in a moment. In commercial, and it's pretty clear here. You'll look at one frame as we'll stop it. And you see right there, the ball bounces, and then it's collected again by Kennison to try to make it look like a catch. Another look here, another angle, and there goes the ball on the ground just instantaneously. He corrals it, and for Bill Levy, that's unusual because he's a referee who does not overturn calls very often. That's only the second time he's overturned a call in 10 challenges this season, and only the 9th time in 49 challenges. So Bill Levy truly believes in indisputable visual evidence.
Well, you know, every time I see Bill Levy referee a game, I feel that he's in control. And I know as a coach back years ago, I always liked Jim Tunney for that reason. You know, I always liked when he refereed a game. It wasn't that we were going to get anything or you know, a good call or anything like that, but you always felt that he had control of the game. And when I see Bill Levy, I have that same feeling that when he's a referee, he has control of this game.
Very much so.
But how about that time that Trent Green had? I have no idea what that Patriot defense was doing, but there wasn't one guy that rushed Trent Green on that play.
Couldn't make it pay off, though. 2nd down and 10 now. At the 32-yard line, Johnny Morton goes in motion, the longtime Detroit Lion. Green, time again, and that is caught up at the 22-yard line by Eddie Kent. No, not caught. It was Eddie Kennison getting hit by Rodney Harrison. And Harrison has dislodged a few passes in his lifetime.
Yeah, and that's when Rodney Harrison is at his best. Not when he's covering man-to-man. He's not a great man-to-man cover, but when he's playing zone and you're running in there and he's free, he is going to hit you. That's the thing, that he didn't have an angle. I mean, the Rodney Harrison had the better angle than the receiver did.
3rd and 10. New England's going to take a timeout. Their second. 32nd timeout here. Trent Green coming over to the sideline for a moment. 10 out of 15 is Trent tonight for 184.
You know, you see Tony Gonzalez there and talking to Trent Green, and you just have to feel, and you know, we talk about Tony Gonzalez is so tough in the red zone, but I think with the Kansas City Chiefs, you can stretch that red zone. They're on the 30-yard line. I think anywhere from here on in, you have to think Tony Gonzalez. Now, I know that the Chiefs are thinking we have to get the ball to Tony Gonzalez, but knowing that Bill Belichick, he's thinking the same thing. They're going to go to Tony Gonzalez.
Among tight ends in the history of the league, he's already 4th in receptions, tied for 4th in touchdown passes, and he's still very young. Gonzalez in his 8th year. He was the #1 pick out of the University of California, Berkeley in 1997.
The one thing the Chiefs can't take here is a loss, because they are in field goal range right now on 3rd down.
3rd down and 10. And Green has to settle underneath, and this is Blaylock, and he'll come up a yard shy of the 1st down to the 23-yard line. So now here comes Vermeil with a decision to make. It's 4th down and 1. The crowd obviously wants him to go for it.
Now, he had to make that decision. I mean, I think that the one thing that it did is it made the field goal a little easier, because it got about 8 yards closer.
Well, he can take this to the 2-minute warning and then really think about it.
Well, that's what Trent Green just ran out into the huddle, and he said just let it go to the 2-minute warning. So that's exactly what they're doing.
So Green will go over. Green said let it go to the 2-minute warning, then I'll come over to try to talk into it. The Chiefs are a very good short yardage conversion team. Vermeil will go for it on 4th and 1. The Chiefs 8 for 8 on 3rd and 1 this season. New England will take a timeout, their final.
Timeout, New England. That's their 3rd charge timeout.
So they wanted to take a look at what Kansas City was going to come up with. As you can see, on 3rd and 1, they were 8 for 8. On 4th and 1, 1 for 1. So they're perfect with a yard to go in these situations. And they're the only team in the NFL that's converted every one of its opportunities. As you can see, the league average about 2 out of 3.
Well, it's not only their offensive line. I mean, the Chiefs have a very good offensive line, but they have 2 good blocking tight ends. Gonzalez has become a pretty good blocking tight end. Jason Dunn, the big guy there, 89, is a good blocker. And then the fullback, Tony Richardson, is super too. So you think about the 5 offensive linemen, then you add the 2 tight ends, that's 7 blockers. Then you add the fullback, that gives them 8 to lead with.
Richardson went to the Pro Bowl, in fact, the lead blocker. Blaylock is the running back behind Richardson. On 4th down and 1 from the 23-yard line. Blaylock, and oh boy, I tell you, that lean, that's the whole question. Where's the forward progress? He tried to lean to the yellow line, and Levy says, I don't even have to measure. That's a first down. And now Kansas City has all of its timeouts.
We talk about the offensive line, and you get a good movement there. You get a pull, you get a good lead, and Blaylock just has to get down a little lower to get there for that first down. See Will Shields, the right guard. He pulls to the left. Brian Waters fires out.
Green from the 22. Rolling, buying time. Will keep it. And then gets taken down by Ty Warren at the 16-yard line. Stayed in bounds, but the Chiefs will take a timeout here with 71 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, he was looking for Tony Gonzalez too, and Rodney Harrison was right there, so he had to pull the ball down and run, but he kept looking for Gonzalez, and he kept being covered. But here's Tony Gonzalez here, and you know that you see McGinnis is going to hit him and run with him, and then Rodney Harrison is right there waiting for him. You see they started inside, and he didn't have anything inside, so he kept looking for him to come to the outside. McGinnis had him earlier, and then Rodney Harrison picked him up at the end of that route. That's what Bill Belichick does. I mean, he knows things, and Romeo Crennel, they know that, okay, now this is what they like to do. Someone else may get us. A wide receiver may get us, a running back or something. But we know here they like Tony Gonzalez. We're not going to let him get the ball.
So strength against strength. The Chiefs are great in the red zone. New England great defending in the red zone. Troy Brown comes in the secondary. Second down and 4 at the 16-yard line. Just a 3-man rush. Blaylock. Goal. Blaylock at the 9-yard line, and Green says, I'll use my second timeout here. Mike Vrabel made the tackle. And then it's 4 to go in the half, and it's 1st and goal.
That was an interesting pattern. They ran Blaylock right in behind Gonzalez, knowing, you can see Tony Gonzalez again talking to Trent Green. Gonzalez goes off, knowing that he's going to get the coverage. He runs off here. Blaylock comes right in behind him. So as Gonzalez goes off, he takes the coverage with him, and look what it leaves Derek Blaylock, a first down. But that's what you can do when you have a great player like Gonzalez. You know, that they have to do something, they have to do so many things to him that will open other things. But I still think Trent Green right here would like to get the ball to Gonzalez.
Always, number 88. Interesting place to call a timeout here. 1st and goal. They still have 1 remaining. McGreen, with all the time he needs, was very quick on the trigger to pull the TO. 3 receivers, bunch to the right. Now they break that. Tennyson coming in motion this way. And Green on 1st down and goal will throw to the 5, and that's incomplete. He tried to go to the other tight end. That was Jason Dunn. He gets blanketed by Teddy Bruschi. 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, you think after he got that first down, you know, even in lieu of a timeout, he could have just spiked the ball and stopped the clock and had time to organize what they wanted to do.
Well, you have a 1st and goal, and you still have 2 timeouts. I mean, there's no compelling reason to take the timeout at that point.
Yeah, because had he completed that pass on that down, he would have had to use his last timeout.
And I know you're thinking about scoring first, but also, you know, on a perfect basis, you leave the other team with no time to come back the other way. Green stepping up, throws into the end zone, and that's incomplete. Intended for Dante Hall, so it's now 3rd down and goal.
You know, he was looking over there in that left, and he had Earthwind Moreland, he had Troy Brown, and he was trying to go over to that side, and he had so much time. See, here's Troy Brown here, and here's what he's trying to work on. He said, geez, if they have that out there, we should be able to get something here. But they play zone, and they play it well, and there was nothing there. Look at the time he had.
3rd and goal now from the 9. Green softly to the end zone and intercepted by Harrison. And Harrison will come out of the end zone up to the 6-yard line. So Rodney Harrison with the pick, and Gonzalez is just furious looking for a flag.
And I know that was one thing. McGinnis and Harrison again were doubling Tony Gonzalez. And I know what Trent Green was thinking. I'll just throw it up there, and Gonzalez will out-physical him. It's on the left side of the screen here, and you're just going to see him come up there. You see him get bumped here, Here's Rodney Harrison. You see underneath him, and they act like they're going to, just get a jump ball, but Rodney Harrison runs underneath it. See, here comes Gonzalez. Rodney Harrison comes right underneath it. I think if you want a jump ball, I think you have to get it up a little higher. I think Trent Green didn't get that ball up like he wanted to.
Roman Pfeiffer was the other defender on the play. So with 38 seconds, it's New England's ball. That's Harrison's first interception of the season and 30th of his career. Most of that time, of course, spent with San Diego.
Well, we talked about what the Chiefs like to do, and Rodney Harrison has played the Chiefs more than anyone, and he knows when they get down there, it's Tony Gonzalez. They had him double covered. They mauled him coming off the line of scrimmage. Rodney Harrison just came right underneath it.
So, and there's Vermeil. So after his team goes for it and makes it on 4th down and then gets a 1st and goal, they can't get in, and New England, barring a mini disaster here at the end of the half, will go into the locker room with a lead.
And that's why New England's New England, and that's why Kansas City's Kansas City. Like Dick Vermeil was telling us yesterday, he said penalties and interceptions or turnovers in the red zone have killed us.
Especially in the last couple of weeks, they had 2 winnable games at Tampa Bay and at New Orleans and wind up losing both. And thus with a mark of 3-6, they go to the locker room. New England 28 wins in a row when leading at the half. Longest streak in the league. And that is the situation right now as the teams go to the locker rooms. At the end of the first half, it's New England 17, Kansas City 10. Coming up next will be the Lexus halftime show when we come back after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations. The game. Instead, it's 17-10. New England trying to go to 9-1. KC trying to keep their playoff hopes barely alive. Trying to go to 4-6 with a lot of division play the rest of the way for the Chiefs. Dante Hall will accept the kick. Adam Vinatieri puts it into the misty night air. And here we go in quarter number 3. Dante Hall from the 2-yard line. And up to the 27. Tully Bantakane makes the tackle, and we go to Michelle.
Well, Al, I talked with Bill Belichick coming out at halftime. His biggest concern in the second half, not giving up another 65-yard touchdown pass as they did to Eddie Kinnison in the first quarter, rather. He also said, we just have to play 60 minutes. This Kansas City Chiefs team is very good. As for Dick Vermeil, he wants to see adjustments in his running game. And guys, look for, even though he was happy with the passing game, look for no huddle now to come in here in the second half.
Dick indicating last night that was a possibility, and so they begin conventionally here, but we'll watch them throughout the period here if they do go to no huddle from the 27-yard line. There's the play fake. Green stepping up, feeling the pressure very nicely, and then throws, and that is caught by Tony Gonzalez, and that'll be a first down. Teddy Bruschi is there for the tackle.
And the Patriots are still having trouble at that corner position. We talked about how Asante Samuel came in for Earth Wind Moreland, then Randall Gay got hurt. So now you got both Asante Samuel and Earth Wind Moreland in. So they're just running out of cornerbacks. I mean, their next cornerback will be Troy Brown.
And he has seen some action, and it's not quite a first down. They didn't give him quite the spot necessary, so it's a couple of inches away. It'll be Chiefs an opportunity to maybe tie the game. Total yards a wash.
Well, they could have tied the game there, but they also bypassed that field goal attempt that would have put them 4 down.
Second down, inches from the 37-yard line. Laylock breaks the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and then Derrick takes it up to the 40-yard line. Again, Priest Holmes hurt, injured knee, missed last week, misses tonight, probably will miss another game or 2. They don't know when he will come back, so Blaylock's the guy in the interim, and there is Priest Holmes.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, I mean, Blaylock had 186 yards last week, but in no way is he a Priest Holmes. I mean, some of the things that Priest Holmes could do, like take the ball inside and bounce it to the outside and get big plays even when everything isn't blocked up. The Chiefs don't have that tonight.
Action along the line there. Seymour came. Did Willie Rofe induce him?
Well, I know one thing.
False start. number 77 offense. 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, I know.
First out.
When you run against the 3-man line on that last play, you better get the nose tackle block. And you know, and that was one of the problems that Dick Vermeil said, that Casey Wigman is their center, and a very good center, but he has a tough time against real big guys. And Keith Traylor is a real big guy.
Traylor listed at 340, first and 15. That's a real big guy.
That's a real big guy.
Green, sidearm, fling to the right, incomplete. And that time, Ty Warren is having a pretty good night. Came in and put the pressure on. Warren started the game with a sack.
Yeah, you know, we saw John Welborn there earlier. This is Chris Bober. Now, Chris Bober is a right tackle here, and he's going to get beaten by Ty Warren to the inside here. But see, the problem is McGinnis there. They count McGinnis as a defensive lineman. So they're sliding out to block him, and then when he doesn't come, that's when Ty Warren is getting the pressure.
Out of the spread formation here. Through the middle goes Blaylock for not very much. Third down and long coming up. It'll be third down and about 14. Chiefs key guys tonight. Trent Green got off to a hot start. Completed his first 8, and then Kennison dropped one. And 209 yards in the half. Blaylock not much on the ground, and Gonzalez has been the leading receiver with 4 for 58. Third and 13. Randall Gay in it. One corner for Bill Belichick's team on third down and 13. Green, good protection. To the outside he goes, and it is Johnny Morton making the catch. First down. Got position on Earthwind Moreland, 17 yards, and it's a first down for Kansas City.
And that's where I think the Kansas City Chiefs have to work, is outside in the corners. I mean, if there is a weakness in the defense, it's out here. You work on these corners. You see Johnny Morton come to the outside, make Moreland go to the outside, think he's going inside, and then break back out. He comes off the line to the inside. Moreland buys it, and then Johnny Morton gets to the outside of him.
John Welborn, sore knee, questionable, the right tackle, so Bober in there. Green going deep into good coverage, and it's dropped. Johnny Morton couldn't handle it. Had beaten Moreland and Harrison and couldn't hang on. Second and 10.
I was just going to say, I think they're seeing the same things down there that we're seeing up here, that you have to work on those corners. You have to work your wide receivers on those corners, and if you're going to work them deep. That ball was just a little short. Johnny Morton has to catch that.
And meanwhile, there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage, and that's against Kansas City for holding.
So even had he caught it, it would have been academic. But I think they're on the right track here. You know, that I know that they're an inside passing team. They like to go to Tony Gonzalez, but I think with this Patriot corners, I think you have to work that area.
Willie Rolfe with his hands full with Seymour tonight as the guy who gets the penalty. Ball at the 45 now. Blaylock, and again, Kansas City can get absolutely nothing started on the ground. Ty Warren makes the tackle there. Gain of 3. It'll be second down and 17.
Well, you know, we talked about Keith Traylor being a run stuffer in the middle. So then you try and get to the perimeter. And one thing about this Patriot defense, they have good speed and they're very good tacklers. They were saying it all starts at a 3-man line with a nose tackle right here, and he gets a little penetration. That's going to bring the ball out here. And then these linebackers, watch how they pursue. But you see the penetration that Traylor got, and that put the ball out, and it took away any cutback also.
Green on second and 17. Sets up well, and then has that pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. So that's knocked down. Might have been Warren getting a hand on it. He's been all over the place tonight. It'll be third down and 17. You know, isn't that the perfect get up for Bill Belichick? If you were to dress Bill Belichick, you'd put him in a hooded sweatshirt.
Yeah, and gray.
And gray.
I mean,
yes.
just your basic gray sweatshirt. That's all. No big deal. Pair of khakis.
Yep.
Basic gray sweatshirt, pair of khakis, and go out and coach. Yep. And you think somewhere there ought to be a whistle around that neck too.
And sneakers.
It looks like everyone's 11th grade gym teacher.
Yes, third and 17. And Green throws, and that is caught downfield at the 35-yard line by Johnny Morton. So a huge third down conversion. Rainbow gave the rookie with the coverage, and they get 19 yards and a first down on the 3rd and 17.
Right, and when you get 3rd and 17, the one thing you need is protection, because you have to get the ball down the field. 3-man left rush. Look at the protection. In fact, Trent Green goes back. He looks in the middle. He looks to the left, and he comes back to the right.
Morton has now caught 4 for 89 yards. Can they get something going on the ground? And the answer is no again. Blaylock taken down. Got a couple, maybe 3. Blaylock now with a dozen carries for 27 yards. Bill Belichick, a kid coach. Ted Marchibroda gave him a job for about $45 a week with the Colts back in Baltimore. And then, of course, with the Giants, tremendous success. 2-time Super Bowl champion under Parcells. Coached the Browns for 5 seasons. Had Vinny Testaverde there. Then back with Parcells. And then he had a chance, of course, to coach the Jets. And that was the famous lectern discovery as Blaylock takes the ball to the 28. HCNYJ. He had the Jets job. Everybody thought he was going to get the job. And there is Bob Kraft and his son Jonathan. And they knew better. They said, he's going to take the New England job, and they had to make a deal with the Jets. He comes to them in 2000, and now he's, with an opportunity, John, to win a 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years. He would be considered among the best of all time.
Yeah, and I think he is among the best of all time, whether he wins a 3rd Super Bowl or not. I mean, he's a football coach's football coach.
3rd down and 4 now. Another key 3rd down conversion, and they get it to Gonzalez. And Tony Gonzalez will take the ball to the 12-yard line on the first down for Kansas City.
I think that wasn't a bad idea to come back and work the outside, work the outside, work the outside, and then they start getting concerned with the outside, and now you can go back to Tony Gonzalez. You see, Vrabel was there, and he lets him go free. He works to the outside to help to the outside, and they give Tony Gonzalez a free release off the line.
12th play of the drive coming up, which has consumed over 6 minutes. New England hasn't had the ball in this half. Blaylock dribs and drabs on the ground. Blaylock 14 carries, 30 yards.
You know what I think they do? I think they just keep running and the dribs and drabs so they can play action pass off the dribs and drabs, because they're not getting anything, but the play action is very effective. And we talked about Keith Traylor here, the nose tackle, and on a 3-man line. It all starts with that guy. And if you can't control him or stablemate him at the line of scrimmage, you are not going to make any yards.
2nd and 9. Play fake, throw, caught. A little short of the first down. Gonzalez reaching to the 5-yard line. 3rd and short upcoming. Rodney Harrison again locked up with the tight end.
It was a 3-5-3 that time, and the 3 defensive linemen, 5 linebackers, 3 defensive backs. The Patriots will throw everything at you, but they aren't able to stop the passing game of the Chiefs.
3rd and short again. They've been perfect on 3rd and 4th and 1 this season. Converted in the first half, but wasted that with the interception by Harrison. 3rd and 1 from the 5. On the ground. They won't get it this time. This is Blaylock. And now Vermeil forced into that situation that he saw at the end of the first half again. You've got 4th down and 1 upcoming. It's a 7-point game.
I mean, I say in this situation, just odds-wise and coaching-wise, you go for the field goal. But if you go for the field goal, you have to trust your defense. And I think, that the first half when he didn't go for it, didn't get it, I don't know that it wasn't because he didn't trust his defense.
I think you're right. In this situation, there's too much time left in the game. There's 22 minutes. And if you don't convert on 4th and 1, you really flatten out. So they're trying to make it a 4-point game on a chip shot, but from an angle here, 24-yard field goal for Times. Cheats the punter to hold it, and the kick is good. So Kansas City ends its first drive of the half with a field goal. It's 17-13 New England. Story of the New England defense. They may give up a lot of yardage, but very few points. I mean, consider Kansas City tonight, 291 total yards, but only a touchdown and 2 field goals.
You know, that's the Patriots, though, too. They just hang in there. You know, you move the ball, you get a couple big plays, you get close, they tighten up. You can't run the ball. You have to kick. They make you do those things.
Bethel Johnson taken down at the 24-yard line. Nice tackle there by William Bartine. For the first time in the third quarter, the Patriots have the football. 6:39 left in the third. It's a 4-point game with the world champions on top. Not Thursday.
Right, the inevitable is right around the corner.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. 4 wideouts in the opening formation for New England. Tom Brady faking the draw. Under pressure, hit as he throws. Going deep for Patton. And David Patton can't hold on. So this is the first time he's gone that way tonight. Julian Battle is right there with the coverage.
Now, Julian Battle is in there because they had 4 wide receivers, so the Kansas City Chiefs were in 5 defensive backs. Battle is the 5th defensive back. That's the guy they go to work on. Patton has him beaten. The ball just doesn't get out there. Just about a half an inch more, and that would have been a big, big play for the Patriots. It was the 3rd time tonight that they took a first down shot.
Corey Dillon knifes to the 28-yard line, picks up 3 behind a Patrick pass block. And a 3rd and 7 is next.
You know, that's always the problem with that. You like to pass on first down. You like to play action pass. You like to take shots. But then when you don't get it, then you're 2nd and 10. And then if on 2nd down, you don't get it. And it all started because of the incomplete first down pass.
3rd down and 7. Crowd close to 80,000 exhorting the Chief defense. Brady stepping up. Great feel for the rush. Throws. Caught deep downfield. David Patton. So he hadn't thought about Patton all night. Then goes to him twice in a row. And this time with much success. Julian Battle with the coverage on the play. And it's a 46-yard gain.
Right. It was the same guy covered him. The same guy throws it to. And Brady knew that if I just get that ball out there a little more, I would have had that last one to Patton. Here he makes that little move in the pocket, and this time he gets the ball out there, and it's complete. You see, Patton had a couple steps on him this time. Patton had a couple steps on him last time. But Tom Brady does that as well as anyone, buying time by just a little movement in the pocket.
First catch of the night for Patton. Now he goes to Deion Branch. Branch, good moves to the outside. Branch inside the 10. Branch all the way for the touchdown. So it was a 3rd and 7. The long pass. There's a flag here. There's a flag down. The flag is at the 24. With Vermeil's reaction, would appear to be against Kansas City.
Well, I think Vermeil's reaction was that poor tackling.
Number 20 defense. Penalties declined. Touchdown.
Both Benny Sapp offside to begin with.
It's probably all of the above, being offside. And you see is the inside receiver right here. And again, he just stops and catches a little one. Now, you have to make the tackle there. I mean, they are going to complete 1- and 2-yard passes, but you can't let them run through your entire defense. But again, that's why the Patriots are the Patriots and the Chiefs are the Chiefs this year.
Vinatieri for the point after. As I said at the beginning of the show, the Pats find a way to win. The Chiefs have been finding ways to lose. One team's 8-1, the other's 3-6, and the 8-1 team right now is up 24-13.
At the stadium, Ralph Wilson named for himself. The Rams pretended Buffalo's home field advantage didn't exist. Mark Bulger to Isaac Bruce, putting them up 10-0 in the first quarter. In the second quarter, Mark Campbell caught a 10-yard Bledsoe bullet, bringing Buffalo back within 3. Then Bledsoe hit Campbell again, 19 yards this time, and Buffalo took the lead 14-10. After a Torrey Holt touchdown, watch the flea flicker. Willis McGahee's selling the run. Bledsoe taking a hit just as he hit Sam Aiken for 54 yards to set up a Ryan Lindell field goal, sending the teams in tied 17-all at the half. In the third quarter, Campbell caught his third touchdown from Bledsoe. The Bills go up 24-17. And then Buffalo's special teams did the rest. Nate Clements made a strong bid for Nate of the Week with this 86-yard punt return. The Bills were up 37-17 after 3 quarters. Nice flip, Nate. Mark Bulger was intercepted 3 times as Buffalo won 37-17, dropping St. Louis to 5-5. Bills' new head coach Mike Mularkey was all smiles. Bledsoe had his best game of the season, though only 185 yards passing. Willis McGahee 100 yards rushing. That seems to be the key for Buffalo to win.
The final Monday of November, a week from tonight. Great matchup as the Rams go north. They go to Lambeau Field. Rams, Packers. Green Bay red hot 5 straight. Big win last night. Brett Favre makes his 200th consecutive regular season start on Monday Night Football a week from tonight. Vinatieri's kick is a liner, 3-yard line, fielded Dante Hall. And Dante Hall taken down very nicely from behind by Dexter Reed, who's been a special teams maven tonight. And now Kansas City will have it down by 11 with 4:48 to go in the third period. Now Kansas City from its own 28-yard line, first down by 11. And Green swings it to the outside. The pass is caught. The play is alive. Jason Dunn makes the catch. Turns it into a 7-yard gain. Second down and 3.
I was walking by Jason Dunn the other day, and you wonder how any defensive back ever tackles him. I mean, he is a big guy. I mean, he's like 280 pounds, 6'6", and you know, you get against those little defensive backs that are about 5'10", 185, and I don't know how they ever get that guy down.
Second down and 3 from the 45.
He's done now.
And Blaylock close to a first down. Gain of 3, 4 minutes to go. Some throwbacks here. We've been talking about Troy Brown, wide receiver, long-standing wide receiver for New England, and now forced into playing a little bit of cornerback, and that was the pick last week. Mike Vrabel, linebacker by trade, but a tight end here, scored against the Rams, also scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl against Carolina. Seymour doing his number defensively, and offensively, the big bull leading the way.
Yeah, you just look at those guys, and the reason that Bill Belichick has them do that is they're just football players, and I think that's what Troy Brown is. You watch him wherever you put him, and you put him on offense, and he could probably play any number of positions. You put him on defense, and he can play there. He's a punt returner, and I think, I mean, that's, you look at a guy, and the term "he's just a football player" is a pretty good term for a guy, and Troy Brown is that.
First and 10 up at the 38-yard line. Green over the middle into Patriot territory, and that is Dante Hall, who comes out of the pack with a first down.
He didn't know how much Dante Hall was going to play. He's the third wide receiver, but he dislocated his finger in 2 places a couple weeks ago. Played last week, but had a tough time, and anytime you have a double dislocation, it hurts when you catch that ball.
First down at the 43-yard line. And a flag for a
false
start.
Number 87 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Eddie Kennison with a false start. Here's Michelle.
Well, you guys were talking about players playing both ways, and Troy Brown, in order to do that, spends about an extra hour a day on average. He'll take his lunch hour or come on early in the morning or stay late in the evening with Eric Mangini, the defensive backs coach, and spend that hour working on calls, looking at film. But get this, he told me last Sunday, after his first NFL interception, he was on the defensive bench celebrating when he heard the coaches screaming for him. He forgot to come back in and play offense, guys.
Blaylock takes this one to the 42-yard line.
And that is one of the problems in playing both offense and defense. is, you know, that you don't always think of is which meeting do you go to? You know, and, you know, I mean, the offense meets in one meeting room, and then you break down receivers and so on. The defense in another, and then they break up defensive backs, linebackers, defensive linemen. And if you're doing both, where do you go?
And then Brown's been a punt returner too, so maybe he shows up for special teams.
Well, he has to, yeah. I mean, that's the third set of meetings that he has to go to.
Second down and 9, 42-yard line. Green throws, and it's dropped. Johnny Morton. Third down and 9.
You know, we talk about those two outside linebackers, and they're so important to this defense. And here we see Willie McGinnis now, who usually plays the outside linebacker, is in the inside. So they take the outside and put him inside, put the inside linebacker outside, and then bring the strong safety in Rodney Harrison. You never know what they're going to give you. And what they gave a team the last week, they don't give you the next week.
And again, it speaks to the preparation.
Thank you.
And frankly, the genius is thrown around too loosely, but when it comes to defense, I mean, tell me somebody better than Belichick right now.
No, there's no one better than him. I mean, that he doesn't give you anything. I mean, he knows what you want to do, and he's going to take that away from you. And he's going to make you do things you're not comfortable doing.
Third down and 9. Green flag is thrown, and the pass incomplete. Eddie Kennison was the intended receiver. Flag in the offensive backfield.
Number 54, offense. Penalties decline. Fourth down.
That's Brian Waters, the guard. So Kansas City has to kick it away, down by 11.
You know, and that's one of the things that we're talking about, Bill Belichick in the defense and the guys that he's doing it with. I mean, I believe that any defense, you have to have pass rushers and you have to have corners. And how you can play this game with these corners just amazes me.
Especially against a team like the Rams a couple of weeks ago. High floating kick, not much distance. Falk calls for and makes the fair catch at the 16-yard line with 1:42 left in the third. Pats have the ball, and New England is up 24-13 in Kansas City. Saturday, and then Saturday night, SC and Notre Dame at 8 Eastern time. With a screen pass out to Corey Dillon. And Dillon is off to the races, up to the 37-yard line. First down with 1.5 minutes remaining in the period.
And they caught him in a blitz, and it was a perfect play. The Chiefs are coming on a blitz, and Tom Brady takes off to his right. And watch him. He invites everyone over to his right. He fakes there. Watch, he comes in a bootleg, invites a whole defense over there, then throws the screen back to this side. And the lineman out in front, you know, we talk about patience. You need patience on a screen play. Patience to let your linemen get out in front of you and get into and make their blocks.
From the 35, first and 10. Flag. Brady throws. And I think it was a free play because there was an offside on the defense. Branch didn't
offside.
Make the catch.
Number 55, defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Gary Stills.
You know, it always amazes me when when you talk to a quarterback like Tom Brady and they say the game slows down for you. Well, the game doesn't slow down. Your progressions speed up. And it's amazing the number of things that they look at in a short period of time. I mean, they're getting rushed, and you think, here's the pass. They never look at the rushes. They're always looking downfield, and they're going to a first and a second and a third guy.
Here's Dillon. Gain of 2. Here's an example of what John was just talking about in last week's game against the Buffalo Bills.
Initially, I looked at David first, and he looked covered. So I got to my second read, which was Patrick pass, and the strong safety came down and jumped him. And I kind of started to get my eyes off to the right to the third guy. And all of a sudden, I saw David kind of flash behind the safety, who I guess the safety had taken Patrick, and the corner who was on David kind of slipped. So I turned and I just threw it, and I thought it was high, and David just went up and made a great play.
And now back to the action as Corey Dillon has the football and takes it to the 39-yard line as the period will come to an end. New England is on the march. New England has the lead. 15 minutes left of regulation football in Kansas City with the score 24-13 Patriots. And Monday Night Football from Kansas City continues after this message from our ABC stations.
Now, I wish it hadn't occurred. 99% of the fans are great. There are 1%, he said, that are jerks, but surely they don't deserve that.
It was incomplete, but he faked it to Bethel Johnson. They bid on it. Brady goes down. He took a shot, and the pass is incomplete, and Brady gets up slowly.
I'll tell you one thing. I've always admired Tom Brady. He can take a shot. I mean, he really sells that play action, and in doing so, he leaves himself completely exposed to get blown up by two guys. Watch him out. How he does that, puts that, and then when he turns around, looks what's there. I've always been impressed with him. I mean, he gets a heck beat out of him sometimes, and he keeps bouncing right back up.
Eric Hicks was the second guy in. It's 2nd down and 10. Here goes Dillon, and he'll be dragged down at the 40-yard line. Pretty key defensive stand here for Kansas City. I mean, they're explosive. They're not out of the game, but they've got to stop New England. Patriots already have an 11-point lead. Let's take a look at how the key guys have done for the Super Bowl champions. Brady, another very efficient night. Dillon, not bad, 3.9. He's been better. And Branch, who comes back after being out half the season, 4 catches, including 1 touchdown. 3rd and 10 out of the shotgun for Brady at the 40-yard line. 3-man rush. Brady gets it off and finds the open man at the 17, but a flag is down as Deion Branch comes away with it. Flag is down at the 30-yard line.
Now you can see why he was so excited about getting Deion Branch back last night.
Holding. Number 22 defense. Penalty is declined. 1st down.
Dexter McLean.
Yeah, because Branch has the whole thing. You know, he's very fast. He has good speed, but he also has good quickness. So he can run those intermediate routes with his quickness. I mean, get up there with his speed and then get back to the inside with his quickness, and that's great body control. He started to go inside, saw the defense in there, and he just kind of slowed up, and Tom Brady hit him.
22-yard gain, ball at the 17 on 1st down now. Dillon.
That's something. I mean, a lot of people, they get 3rd and long, and they're going to throw some screen or something. Not Tom Brady. I mean, he's going to get back there and he's going to pump and he's going to zip that thing in there. Look at that, 62 miles an hour. And when he does it, as I said earlier, he's a long strider. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks like to keep their feet right underneath their shoulders. He will stride out and open up. And when he does, he puts a lot of heat on it.
Keith Jackson would say that'll get you a ticket on a country road. 62 in a 40 zone. 2nd down and 8. Dillon gain of 1. I tell you.
Give me that one again.
Keith, Keith, he has the greatest expressions in the history of college football. Yeah, I tell you, you're doing 62 in a 40, and they get you a ticket on a country road. Like an 18-wheeler rolling down a Tennessee highway.
Well, that was 62 miles.
Keith and Dan Fouts with all the homilies you want in the Notre Dame SC game. And that's Patrick Pass going out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, this guy Tom Brady just makes it look so easy, doesn't it? And I know that, I don't want to compare him and say he's Joe Montana, but he's a lot like Joe Montana. We were talking today about, who's the best quarterback, who's this and who's that, and he just does things effortlessly. And I said, maybe Peyton Manning is a Dan Marino, and maybe Tom Brady is a Joe Montana.
That's a great way to describe it. Just perfect.
But he does the same thing that everyone else does and makes it look a lot easier.
Ball loose. Dillon fumbled. And Kansas City recovers. Greg Wesley created the fumble. He popped him, and the Chiefs still have life. That's only the 2nd time the Chiefs have recovered a fumble this season at a most opportune time. Lionel Dalton recovers. Corey Dillon putting it on the ground as the Patriots were trying to write a finish to this game. Instead, it's an 11-point game. There's a wink from the man, Dalton, who recovered it. And the Chiefs begin at their own 3-yard line. Green thrown out of the end zone to Tony Richardson, the Pro Bowl fullback, gets spilled at the 10, gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Asante Samuel made the tackle, and down is Samuel. So again, the corner woes continue for New England. Samuel's been in and out. We've seen Earthwind Moreland has been in and out.
Randall Gay has been in and out.
And Poole and Law, the 2 starters, are out. Going into the 4th quarter, you can't beat the Pats. 34 consecutive wins, and that's the longest streak in the NFL. Moreland in the game. Moreland and Gay are the corners. 2nd down and 3 for Kansas City. Toss back Blaylock. Blaylock has a 1st down. Stays inbounds. Good run there up to the 23-yard line. His longest of the night.
Well, they finally got him outside back to this tight end side. They had the single tight end back to this side, and they had the corner have to come up. You see, they have the tight end there, and the corner has to be the force guy. Willie Roaf just engulfs the force guy. There is no more force guy, and then Blaylock gets a 1st down.
Engulfs, envelops, swallows. He
didn't even see him. Yeah, it was Randall Gay out there, I think, and he was underneath Willie Roaf somewhere.
Troy Brown is in the secondary again on 1st and 10. On the 24-yard line, Green stepping up, hits Blaylock. Tackled immediately, gets popped by number 95, Roman Pfeiffer, the oldest linebacker in the league.
I think now they're in pretty good position that they can do what Dick Vermeil probably wants to do and go after these corners. I mean, I think you have to get after these guys on the outside. I mean, this defense is still pretty strong inside, good tacklers inside. I think you want to work the ball in the passing game outside.
2nd down and 7. Green works out of the shotgun. Low throw, too low. 3rd and 7. Gonzalez, the intended receiver.
I think Green's a little quick on that. I think he has more time. I think that, that he ought to just kind of sit back there and take his time and let these wide receivers work these corners on the outside.
300-yard night for Trent Green. A lot of those in the 1st half. In particular, the 1st quarter, he's 21 out of 34.
He has Johnny Morton and Eddie Kennison down here in the bottom.
Good protection over the middle, exploits the middle. Johnny Morton makes the catch. Brewski makes the tackle. That's a 1st down on a 19-yard gain up to the 46.
Yeah, they only had 2 receivers in, and they had them both on this side. Here's Johnny Morton, the inside receiver. Eddie Kennison starts in motion, and they come off on a bunch. Eddie Kennison goes inside. Johnny Morton goes up and just runs a hook pattern right in the middle of that zone.
And a linebacker, Don Davis, playing about 15 yards off the line that time. Number 51, 1st and 10 at the 46. 3-man rush, inside hand on the draw and the delay to Blaylock. And Blaylock gets across the 50-yard line. Mike Vrabel makes the tackle. 2nd down coming up, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, we talk about all the strange things that they do. Al, you're just talking about Don Davis, who's their 4th or 5th linebacker, and he will come in and play the safety position.
No end to the defensive scheme of Belichick and company. 2nd and 4. Juggled, caught, 1st down. Dante Hall gets inside the 40-yard line. That's another 1st down for Kansas City as they started this drive back at their own 3-yard line.
And when it looked like as you say, they were going in to win the game, the Patriots looked like they were going to finish it off and put the lid on this thing. And the Chiefs are in a hurry up now. They're going without a huddle, so they know that we're talking about multiple scores here.
1st and 10. Look out, Green. Ty Warren stripped it. They're already high high-fiving, which is a pretty good indication they're going to wind up with the football.
That was the thing I was talking about, the right side of the quarterback being the onside and the left side, the backside. Sometimes the right side is the onside. Trent Green was looking the other way when Ty Warren hits him.
But they're going to keep the ball, so that was a very premature Patriots celebration.
See, when he's looking left, then his backside is his right side. How do they know who has it?
Yeah, they're high-fiving, they're celebrating, and the next thing you know, it's still Kansas City's football. 2nd down and 16 at the 45-yard line. 7.5 to go, halfway through the 4th quarter. Caught by Gonzalez. He can only get to the 40, so they're still about 10 yards short. Make it 11 of the first down. And a big 3rd down coming up.
That was a big play by Rodney Harrison. In fact, they tried to run that same pattern to Johnny Morton inside where he ran that hook. And instead of letting him off the line, Rodney Harrison just came up and knocked him off his pattern.
3rd and 11, and again, Troy Brown comes in. And Don Davis is also coming in. John talking about the linebacker who plays deep. And he's in a safety spot right now. 3rd down and 11. Caught by Blaylock, but he had to spin around and still is able to make the first down. Good play by Blaylock because he had to slow his momentum, make the catch behind him, spin, and still pick up a huge first down, breaking out of a Rodney Harrison tackle for a 14-yard gain.
Watch this, he gets the ball here. In fact, I think Rodney Harrison hurts himself on this play, but like you said, he had to make him miss. Harrison misses, and he doesn't miss a lot of tackles.
Ball at the 27-yard line. Green deep, wide open, touchdown, Eddie Kennison.
Earth, Wind, Moreland again. And you just know it's just a matter of time until they got to these guys.
And that's a 97-yard drive after the Dillon fumble to make it a football game again.
There's Eddie Kennison out there. He just gets an outside release on Earth, Wind, Moreland. He just runs right up the sideline. The safety didn't get over. I mean, either the corner has to run with him or the safety has to get over, or a combination of both. They did neither. Tell you, that no huddle did help the Chiefs.
And in the 5-point game, they will go for 2 to get to within a field goal here, to try to make it 24-21. So the 2-point conversion coming up. But before that, New England takes
first charge. Timeout.
A timeout to set the defense here with the 2-point conversion coming up. That is the longest drive given up by the Patriots since the 2001 season. 97 yards. And on that drive, just 2 runs and 9 passes.
Trent Green did a good job of punt faking on this play. You'll see. Here's again Kennison. Here's the corner. Here's the safety. Now he'll pump fake to get that safety out of there. You see him. He gets by there. Kennison gets to the outside. Now watch the pump. You see what that does to the safety? That brings the safety in and leaves Eddie Kennison free in the end zone. Pumps it right there and then brings it back to the outside. That's like taking candy from that little girl with the pink earmuffs.
And Dillon's fumble created it. Kennison's 2nd touchdown catch of the night. 2-point conversion to try to make it a 3-point game. Green, and that's broken up. He tried to get it to Kennison. Eugene Wilson knocks it away, so KC will still need a touchdown or 2 field goals, depending, with 6:13 remaining in regulation. 24-19 Patriots. Might be set up for a pretty good finish here tonight. New England on top 24-19. Vital game for Kansas City. They're 3-6. The AFC is so tough, and they have to get on a roll, and they have to get on it now. Meanwhile, for New England, big game in the sense that home field advantage, and you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers right now with a mark of 9-1. So New England tries to match that with a win tonight. Very short kick. Bethel Johnson, 20-yard line. Taken down by the arm up at the 36-yard line. Tackle made by Quentin Caver. 6:07 to go in regulation. New England up by 5 points. Years and came here. And the great Lamar looking on tonight as his team tries to come from behind. Right now, New England has the ball from the 36-yard line. Corey Dillon picks up 3, and we're under 6 minutes to play in regulation.
Didn't you feel that Corey Dillon ran that ball in there with a lot of determination? And that determination was probably caused by the last time he had the ball in his hands, he fumbled it going in the goal line.
Very much so. He kept the game alive for Kansas City. And then credit the Chiefs to go 97. 2nd down and 5 now. Draw. Dillon again, and Dillon will pick up the first down. Eat some clock to the 49-yard line. Benny Sapp makes the tackle.
You just feel like he's a man possessed, a man that is really upset with himself. You know, and so upset with himself that he says he wants to do something about it. And let me have a couple of carries here. Let me get a couple of first downs, take some time off the clock, but get back something.
He can take a lot of time off the clock. Play fake. Brady throws outside, caught. That's going to be a first down. Christian Fourier, the tight end, makes his first catch of the night. He's tackled by Kawika Mitchell, and the clock will tick down to close to 4 minutes before they get the next snap off. 14-yard gain.
You know, and that was a combination of Tom Brady's reading. You know, we talked about the progression he goes through. That time, that was his 3rd read. I mean, he went 1, he went 2, and he finally threw to 3. Watch him here. He looks one way, and then he finally comes back to Fourier, which was his 3rd read.
Kevin Falk is now in the game. And that is caught. That's Deion Branch. He stopped a little short of the first down. But Kansas City right now very frustrated defensively. Brady taking a lot of time between plays. 2nd down and short. Under 4 minutes to play. Tonight you can look at those numbers. Brady's rating at 124, over 300 yards, and Trent Green 377. But again, in a situation where they could lose the game, so the Chiefs just keep piling up yardage. They're 1st in offense, 2nd in scoring, with 3 and 6, maybe going on 3 and 7.
You know, and Trent Green was even saying the other day, he said, we're great starters, we're just bad finishers.
And on 2nd and 1, Brady has to go all the way back and then is able to just dump it out of bounds to avoid the sack, to avoid a loss. 3rd down and 1. And the bad finishing, John, of course, the last 2 weeks as Fall comes limping off. They had winnable games. I mean, it's funny. This team has beaten Baltimore, which has 7 wins, Atlanta, one of the big surprises in the league, and the Colts. And they get beat by the other teams.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's driving Dick Vermeil crazy. And again, we talk about, what the Patriots have, dependable players, consistent players. The Chiefs just haven't been consistent.
Seymour as the fullback. Brady's going to keep it because Dillon came in as the running back. And all of that bulk takes them across that yellow line for a first down, and more importantly, gives them the opportunity to eat more of the clock. So Kansas City's going to have to start taking its timeouts. They have all 3 and take them on defense.
I like that bulk talk. I mean, you just get the ball. Tom Brady's smart. He's a tall quarterback, but one thing, when you have the ball, you're going to draw a big crowd. You got a bunch of bulk there. Get down low. Did you see him? The first thing he did is he put his head down and got down so that they weren't going to get a shot at him.
Well, you invented heavy jumbo. Here's Dillon. So we'll throw the bulk into the heavy jumbo now.
Yeah, and that's what you do in that short yardage when you just have a quarterback sneak. You just have him get behind all the bulk.
Kansas City has to take a timeout. Coach, you never look so cute.
No. You wonder when the guy did that, and more than when, you wonder why. Spend that much time doing that.
We'll get Michelle to ask him. 2nd down and 4 from the 18-yard line. There's a flag And Dillon gets rolled down, and it's imperative for Kansas City to stop him here. Shenard Harsh, for the moment, made the hit.
I think it's going to be against Kansas City, though.
Offside.
I think they jumped down.
Nose tackle. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
That's a first down. They're down to 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. And Vermeil has just watched his team tonight cumulatively now commit for the season more penalties than they had all of last season. So in 16 games last year, they had fewer penalties than they've had in 10 games this year, and 7 tonight.
You know, and that was the thing when we talked to him yesterday, that he talked about the turnovers in the red zone. Remember, you know, Trent Green throwing the interception in the end zone, and the penalties.
And that's the story of tonight.
They jump up and bite him tonight.
First half turnover in the end zone. Rodney Harrison with the interception. 1st and 10, ball at the 13-yard line. And again, action before the snap. This one will go against New England.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 88, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They can stop them. They're going to use their timeouts. They'll use the 2-minute warning. They hold them to a field goal. They still have a chance. It would still be a 1-possession game because it would be an 8-point lead if KC can get them to settle for just 3.
And to me, this is when Tom Brady is at his best. You know, we talked about the red zone and the Chiefs and how they throw to Gonzalez. The thing when Tom Brady gets down here, he's so good because he has so many receivers. He doesn't have one favorite guy. He has like 3 or 4 or 5 that he'll throw to in this area.
He's hit 8 different guys tonight. Dillon behind pass. Dillon picks up about 6. And Browning makes the tackle. Chiefs, they could use a timeout here, but they're going to instead use them on the other side of the 2-minute warning. Tom Brady tonight, 315 yards through the air, very efficient. Corey Dillon, 93 yards, so 7 shy of 100, and that would be 1,000 for the season. Green on the other side with 377, and Eddie Kennison with 2 touchdown receptions. So we will go to the 2-minute warning here, 24-19. And they can stop the clock twice. When we come back, 2nd and 12 for New England. Very much into the game. 2nd down and 12 at the 2-minute warning. Corey Dillon. Kansas City will take a timeout. What Kansas City should have done in that situation is taken the timeouts on the front side of the 2-minute warning. It doesn't matter if they pick up the first down, but they're going to leave themselves with a little less time than they would have had they used their timeouts before the 2-minute warning. Anyway, Monday Night Football brought to you by the next Sports with no timeouts, but a lot of time to go down the field. There's Vinatieri getting ready.
Yeah, and they know if they can stop him here that they can move the ball. And I think the Chiefs offense and Trent Green, I think they have a lot of confidence, and this is a big 3rd down play because you say if they can stop him and they can force him to a field goal attempt, and they can also take their last time out.
If they don't stop him, you can just about write a finish to it. Dillon swings to the outside. They stop him. Ball at the 10-yard line. They can take their final timeout, which they do, and then Vinatieri will come in to attempt about a 27-yard field goal.
And I don't think anyone on that Patriots sideline feels very strong about having victory in their pocket right now.
No, not.
I think that was something where the Patriots needed a touchdown there.
Because they know they have just given up a 97-yard touchdown drive. And you've got Green, and you got his complement of receivers, and you have Gonzalez, and Morton has 107 receiving yards tonight.
Right, and you have the problem at corner. And, you know, the Patriots know that they can do it to you because they just did. And the Chiefs also have a lot of confidence that they can do it.
28-yard field goal attempt coming up here to try to make it an 8-point game. Lonnie Paxton will snap it. Josh Miller, the punter, will hold it. 3 more for New England on the Vinatieri 28-yarder to make it a 27-19 game with 1:46 seconds remaining. No timeouts for the Chiefs.
You know, the bind that the Patriots get themselves in is the bind that they were in on that last touchdown is one thing. they know that they have to cover Tony Gonzalez, because when you get down here, this is where they want to go. So now they're looking at Tony Gonzalez here so much, the safety will jump anything he does, and that puts that corner on the outside on an island. And look at what the crowd that Gonzalez draws, and now if you don't cover Gonzalez like that, they're going to throw it to Gonzalez. If you do cover him like that, then you have Eddie Kennison or Johnny Morton free in the end zone. So that's the bind that they were in last time, and I think it's the same bind that they're in now.
Dante Hall will see plenty of action here, as not only will he run back the kick, but figures to be in there as one of the receivers as we go down the stretch. Week 11 coming to an end tonight. Can the Patriots hold on, go to 9-1, be tied with Pittsburgh atop the AFC, though Pittsburgh would own the tiebreaker by virtue of their head-to-head win. So at the moment, Pittsburgh would be the #1 seed in the AFC.
This is another bind that they're in right here. You really don't want to give Dante Hall a good returnable kick.
2 kickoff returns, 2 punt returns in addition for touchdowns last season. Hall will get it from the 14. And it's nice coverage initially and conclusively by New England as they stop at the 32-yard line. So 68 yards to go for Trent Green in 1 minute and 39 seconds.
And that was a good kick. I mean, that's one thing you don't want to do is kick the ball straight down the middle where they can have the wedge and go right or left. He kind of kicked it to the right, pinned Dante Hall into this sideline, and then they had very, very good coverage.
Meanwhile, Dante Hall is wringing his hand, and that's been a problem for him, the fingers, as he comes off. So Hall can't go in this set and is on the bench for the moment. Chris Horn is in there, number 81, in place of Hall from the 32-yard line now. Green, good time. Green going deep into double coverage, and it's incomplete. Intended for Eddie Kennison. Asante Samuel with the coverage, and he's been hurt off and on tonight, in and out of the lineup tonight, and he's holding his hand.
Yeah, whether they have Asante Samuel out there or Earthwind Moreland, this is a guy that they're going to work on. They do it here again with Kennison, or right up that sideline. Again, that's a poor pattern by Eddie Kennison, because you have to give yourself more room to the outside. You'd like to run that up about 5 yards inside the boundary. When you get right against the boundary, there's no place for Trent Green to throw it.
No margin. And Samuel is still down. So they just keep, pasting and gluing the defensive backs in there, and that's why Troy Brown's been playing so much, and he's seen a lot of action, and why a guy like Davis, Don Davis, a linebacker by trade, plays the safety position.
I think Troy Brown at one time when he first started on defense, it was kind of a lark, a play here or play there. And now he's needed. I mean, now Troy Brown is a needed defensive back.
Second career. Don Davis is in the game in the secondary. Brown's in the game in the secondary. It's 2nd down and 10. Green looking to dump underneath, and then Blaylock can't make the catch, and that's going to make it 3rd down. Good work by that patchwork secondary, such as it is with linebackers all over the joint back there.
I think I'd try Don Davis out too. I mean, he's a safety, and he's playing a deep safety, a free safety, and that's a tough situation. I think that the way Trent Green could pump, if you put Gonzalez on his side, and give him a pump and then get to the outside, I think you could do some business here.
It's a bizarre look
on the other side, though.
Bizarre look. You look in that secondary. You got 51, you have 80. Here's Green stepping up, throwing. That's caught, and it is Dante Hall who comes back in the game, but Dante Hall comes up about 6 yards short of the 1st down. So it comes down to this for Kansas City, and they couldn't even get out of bounds, so some time will be run off here, and they have to convert here, or New England will fly home with a victory. 4th down and 6. Now or never for Kansas City. Never. Willie McGinnis with a sack. Boy, and Willie McGinnis made a big play at the end of the Indianapolis game when we saw New England at the beginning of the season against Peyton Manning, and here he writes a finish to this one tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you, before that, though, Trent Green had plenty of time. I mean, he's sitting back here and the shotgun, and he's looking to the right, looking to the left, and you just can't stay there that long.
He's like the Keith Falk of the Patriots. You know, Falk comes in and ends games for the Red Sox. McGinnis ends games for New England. Yeah, because he just stays with it. I mean, there's something, you know, a lot of guys would have stayed down on that thing, but here's what he was looking at. This was a coverage downfield. And look, he was trying to go to Tony Gonzalez, but they knew he was trying to go to Tony Gonzalez, and they had him covered. And the clock will be run out by the Patriots, who will go to 9-1. And they'll go home. Good game. There's a smile on a big smile on Belichick's face as they get ready to face Baltimore. Yeah, because he got through this one with some Band-Aids. He did. But, you know, that's what coaching is all about. I mean, you know, if things go wrong, if you lose players and you lose games, anyone can do that. When you lose players and don't lose games, then you're pretty doggone good. You know, a great combination, Belichick and Brady. Since these guys hooked up, take a look at this. In the history of the NFL, Paul Brown and Otto Graham as a coach QB combination would have the highest average. Then there's Belichick and Brady, then Lombardi and Starr, and my man John and Kenny Stabler. Now that's a list to draw to. Right, and in winning tonight, they just passed Lombardi and Starr. And I think, you know, we haven't talked about the horse trailer yet, but I think when someone passes Bart Starr and something, and Vince Lombardi, I think that has to be a horse trailer deal. I think you're right. I think that cements it. That's why we want you to stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Coming up next, the Autotrader.com postgame show when we come back. The Kansas City, where the Patriots win the game by 8.